I've always been drawn to the darkest corners of the internet. It's an allure I can't quite explain, like a moth to a flame. As a hacker, the thrill of uncovering hidden secrets is my lifeblood. One night, fueled by too much caffeine and curiosity, I found myself deeper than ever before. Navigating the labyrinth of the dark web, I stumbled upon a hidden forum, encrypted and buried under layers of obfuscation. It was called the Elysian Society. The name seemed innocuous enough, almost elegant, but the encryption techniques protecting it were anything but. Breaking through was a challenge, but my fingers danced across the keyboard, breaking down their defenses one by one. What I found on the other side was beyond anything I'd ever encountered. The site's design was stark, almost minimalist, but the content was a nightmarish blend of sophistication and savagery. Videos, images, and detailed reports documented a series of grotesque rituals and murders, all carried out in the name of pleasure and power. The perpetrators? Members of society's elite politicians, CEOs, celebrities. These were the untouchables, the people who walked the halls of power and wealth, indulging in their darkest desires. My heart raced as I scrolled through the evidence of their depravity. Each page seemed worse than the last. Blood-soaked chambers, masked figures, and victims whose faces contorted in terror. It was like staring into the abyss, and I was unable to look away. My initial shock turned into a mix of anger and fear. These monsters needed to be exposed. I started downloading everything, every file, every image, every video. I needed evidence to bring these bastards to justice. The deeper I delved, the more I uncovered their methods of evasion. They were meticulous, erasing traces, paying off authorities, ensuring their actions remained hidden, but I had them now. I had their secrets. Then I found it. An invitation. A live-streamed event scheduled for the following night. The Elysian Society was hosting one of their gatherings, and the thought of witnessing their evil in real time made my blood run cold. I knew I should stop, should report what I'd found and let the authorities handle it. But something compelled me to keep going. I needed to see it for myself, needed to understand the full extent of their monstrosity. The next night, I logged on and followed the encrypted link to the stream. My screen filled with the image of an opulent mansion, all gleaming marble and gilded edges. Masked figures moved through the halls, their laughter echoing through my speakers. I could see their eyes behind the masks, cold and devoid of any humanity. They led a bound figure into the center of the room, a young woman blindfolded and trembling. As the ritual began, my screen flickered. The video feed stuttered, then cleared, revealing a new message over the gruesome scene. "We see you." My blood turned to ice. I closed the stream immediately, heart hammering in my chest. They knew I was watching. They knew I had seen everything. My mind raced, searching for solutions, for ways to cover my tracks. I'd always been careful, using VPNs, encrypted tunnels, layers of anonymizing software. But these people, these monsters, were clearly more sophisticated than anyone I'd ever encountered. I spent the next few hours scrubbing my system, erasing any trace of my activities. I wiped hard drives, rerouted connections, changed every password, every piece of identifiable information. My paranoia grew with every passing second, the feeling of being watched creeping into my mind. I knew I had to disappear, at least digitally. I created new identities, set up new encryption protocols, and moved my operations to different servers. Every step was meticulous, calculated. I couldn't afford a single mistake. The Elysian Society had eyes everywhere, and any slip could be fatal. I stopped using my usual devices, switched to new, untraceable ones, constantly changing locations, never staying in one place for too long. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. I lived in a state of perpetual fear, every unexpected noise a potential threat, every shadow a hidden watcher. My online presence was a ghost moving silently, leaving no trace. I monitored the forums, saw the whispers of the society looking for the intruder, for me. They never stopped hunting, never stopped searching. I debated contacting the police, torn between the need to expose these monsters and the fear of being dismissed as a lunatic. I had scrubbed everything, erasing any proof I'd once had. Without evidence, my story would sound like the paranoid ramblings of a deranged hacker. How could I convince anyone of the horrors I'd uncovered when I had nothing to show for it? Every night, the same thoughts plagued me. I couldn't shake the images from my mind. The cold eyes behind the masks, the tortured victims. I knew I had to do something, but the risk was enormous. If the Elysian Society caught wind of my attempt to expose them, they would come for me with a vengeance. In the end, I realized there was no easy way out. My options were limited and the danger was real. The Elysian Society's shadow loomed over me, a constant reminder of the darkness that thrives in the hearts of the powerful and corrupt. But as long as I kept moving, kept evading, I had a chance. It was a dark, sinister existence, but it was survival. I had stumbled into the abyss and lived to tell the tale, always haunted by the knowledge of what lay beneath the surface of our world. The choice to come forward weighed heavily on me, but until I found a way to expose them without sealing my fate, I remained a phantom in the machine, forever looking over my shoulder. Make the background music scary ambience.